The gathering hall of the Krell Empire fell silent as the massive cage descended from the ceiling. Inside, Mira Solon stood with her small hands pressed against the cold metal bars, her brown eyes wide but unafraid. The 8-year-old human child had been plucked from a colony world 3 cycles ago, and now she would serve as entertainment for the most powerful warlords in the galaxy. Commander Zixthor clicked his mandibles in anticipation. Behold the human spawn. These creatures claim to be the inheritors of the stars, yet they are soft, weak, and die so easily. His 6 eyes gleamed with cruel amusement. Today we demonstrate why humanity will never rule anything beyond their pathetic little worlds. Around the circular arena, thousands of alien dignitaries watched from towering stands. Reptilian Scari hissed their approval. The crystalline lumina flickered with excited energy. Even the stoic forge masters of Titan Prime leaned forward in interest. At the far end of the arena, a second cage began to rise from beneath the floor. Mira heard it before she saw it, a low, rumbling growl that made the very air vibrate. Then the creature emerged into the light, and even the hardened warriors in the crowd fell silent. Varkrul was a legend whispered across 100 worlds. Standing nearly 3 meters tall at the shoulder, the albino wolf was a genetic nightmare engineered by the Krell's best flesh shapers. Its fur was pure white, almost luminescent, and its eyes burned with an unnatural crimson fire. Teeth like obsidian daggers lined a jaw that could crush starship hull plating. The beast had killed 47 sentient beings in this very arena, including a war champion of the Axelon Horde. Varkrul had never lost. Varkrul had never shown mercy. "Release the human," Zixthor commanded. The cage door hissed open. Mira stepped out slowly, her small feet barely making a sound on the blood-stained arena floor. She wore a simple gray jumpsuit, far too large for her tiny frame. Her dark hair hung in 2 braids down her back. The crowd began to chant, "Varkrul! Varkrul! Varkrul!" On the opposite side, Varkrul's cage opened with a metallic shriek. The wolf emerged like a white avalanche. Its claws sparked against the metal floor. Its breath came in predatory huffs that sent clouds of vapor into the air. Those crimson eyes locked onto the small human child, and every muscle in its massive body tensed for the kill. Mira didn't run. She didn't scream. She simply stood there looking up at the approaching nightmare. Zixthor laughed. "The human is paralyzed with fear." What a disappointing. Something changed. Varkrul stopped mid-stride, barely 5 meters from Mira. Its head tilted, ears swiveling forward. The growl died in its throat. Mira took a step forward. Then another. "What is she doing?" someone whispered from the stands. The child raised one small hand, palm out, as if greeting an old friend. "It's okay," she said softly, her voice barely audible over the confused murmuring of the crowd. "I know you're scared too." Varkrul's lips pulled back, revealing those terrible teeth. But the snarl that should have followed never came. Instead, the massive creature's eyes widened. It took a step backward. Impossible. Mira continued walking forward, her hand still extended. "They hurt you, didn't they? Made you into something you never wanted to be. I can feel it." Her eyes glistened with tears. "I'm sorry they did that to you." The arena erupted in confusion. Zixthor stood from his throne, his mandibles working furiously. "Killer! Varkrul, I command you to..." The wolf threw back its head and released a howl that shook the entire structure. It was a sound of anguish, of rage, of something breaking free from invisible chains. Then Varkrul did something that would echo across galactic history for centuries to come. The fiercest predator in known space lowered itself to the ground and placed its massive head at Mira Solon's feet. The child's small hand touched the wolf's snout, and where her fingers made contact, the albino fur began to shimmer with an impossible golden light. Varkrul's eyes closed, and for the first time since its creation, the beast knew peace. "Impossible," Zixthor shrieked. "Humans don't have, they can't, but they could. They always could." Humanity's greatest secret wasn't their technology or their warfare. It was something far more fundamental, something written into the very DNA of their species. Humans possessed what the galaxy's scientists had dismissed as myth: the resonance, an empathic frequency that could touch the minds of other living beings, could feel their pain, their fear, their hopes. Most humans never awakened it. Most never knew it existed, but some did, usually in moments of pure, innocent compassion. Mira looked up at the thousands of aliens surrounding her, and her voice, amplified by the arena's sensors, carried to every corner of the hall. He never wanted to hurt anyone. None of you ever asked what he wanted. You just made him into a weapon. She turned to Varkrul, who still knelt before her, trembling. You're free now, I promise. The golden light spread from Mira's hand across Varkrul's entire body. The genetic chains that bound the wolf to its creator's will shattered like glass. The pain receptors designed to ensure compliance dissolved. The aggression stimulants burned away, and Varkrul understood, perhaps for the first time in its tortured existence, that not all beings were cruel. That compassion was not weakness. The wolf stood, and Mira wrapped her small arms around its massive neck. The crowd watched in stunned silence as the galaxy's most feared predator nuzzled the child gently, protectively. Zixthor activated his communicator. Guards, seize them both! Varkrul's growl this time was different. It was a promise. A warning. The guards stayed where they were. In the following hours, as the Krell Empire scrambled to contain the disaster, Mira and Varkrul walked out of the arena together. No one dared to stop them. By the time the Galactic Council's emergency session convened, the human child and the albino wolf had already been rescued by a human fleet that arrived with shocking speed. The footage of Mira's act spread across every inhabited world. Humanity's secret was no longer secret, and the galaxy realized with dawning terror and wonder that they had been very, very wrong about humans. They weren't weak. They were something far more powerful. They could turn enemies into allies with nothing but compassion. They could heal what others had broken. They could redeem the irredeemable. Humanity, it turned out, didn't need to conquer the galaxy through force. They would do it through something far more dangerous: love.